Gemini, this is your love and relationship reading for July 2018. So give me a few more seconds. Your first card is a Page of Cups, Five of Swords, Two of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Three of Wands reversed, Lovers. I have a Four of Swords reversed. This is a Four of Cups. So you have two fours here, and you have two fives here. This is a King of Cups. Yeah, very, very interesting. First off, I can't help but be drawn to this Two of Wands, and you have the Lover's card right under it. And by the way, do you know that the Lover's card is usually associated with Gemini in the Wiccan Tarot? So there is this, I'm getting a sense of, and you do have some water here as well, which I think might belong to the other partner. I feel like with this Two of Wands, with the undercurrent of the Lovers under it, yes, there is, for some of you, it could be the beginning of a relationship because you do have that Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is usually about being hopeful about love. Sometimes the Page of Cups represents, because you see a young person there, it can represent being a beginner. And in a relationship reading, the beginning of love, or starting to fall in love with someone. So I kind of see an interesting dynamic here with this Two of Wands. Two of Wands is the card of partnership, forming a partnership for success. And then I have this Lover's card here, this unity, this balance, this harmony coming together. But this Five of Swords and Three of Swords together, this Five of Swords and Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is in the center of your spread, and it's reversed. And I'm kind of like, what's going on here? That maybe some of you Geminis, you're very hopeful about the relationship, but it feels as if this other person or this love interest is always elusive, and they keep resisting what you want. You might actually want a loving, committed relationship with this person, but when I look at that card, that Three of Wands reversed, I'm kind of getting this sense of plans being thwarted. And that is because you have these two fives. I feel like the numbers are going to be very important for you, Gemini. 5 is the number of conflict or struggle. So you have that Five of Swords here, and you have that Five of Pentacles here. I feel like the Five of Swords in the context of this relationship reading is referring to not necessarily a defeat in battle, but I feel once again the Three of Wands is sort of underscoring this, being hopeful and then the other person keeps pulling the football away. You know, just when you think things are getting good, they pull the football away. And I also feel that because maybe you two met with this Page of Cups, I feel like you two met and you felt instant attraction to this person, but then, you know, something came up. Maybe this person was in another relationship. Maybe they're going through a divorce or separation. And so that Five of Swords seems to be coming in between this hopefulness of the Page of Cups, this emotional opening up, and forming that partnership. And I feel like you also need to be careful, because sometimes we feel that, oh, I'm attracted to this person, so I want to see if this relationship will work out. And sometimes we keep following our feelings and justifying that because we're in love with someone and because we're attracted to someone, you know, we can't give up. You know, this person we might have been with that person, we might have had a wonderful evening together or had a date, and you're like, oh, I'm totally in love, I must be with this person. But it has to be a two-way street. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling this vibe of rejection or a partnership that was kind of thwarted and pulled out of the way. And so when we get here with this Three of Wands reverse, the Three of Wands, by the way, now you have this Two of Wands, which is hopeful. It's about a successful partnership. But you're not quite getting to the Three of Wands. All of a sudden this Three of Wands, so you go from Two to Three of Wands, but the Three of Wands is reversed. So when you cannot ascend the numbers here, when you go to a Two and you feel like, well, now that we have a successful partnership, let's bring in the third wand here. Let's bring in the commitment, because 3 is a magical number. 3 is the number of partial success. It's about expecting good news, expecting success, waiting, active waiting, for your ships to come in and for the partnership to grow and become successful. So when this is in reverse, there's a danger here, especially since this is in the middle of the spread, that there might be unrealistic expectations, that you're waiting in vain for something. And it can also mean things getting in the way of your plans and your hopes. It can mean a disagreement. Because 3, you have 2 forces coming together to create a third. That's why it's magical. And it's a really wonderful card when you get 3 of Cups, or 3 of Wands, or even 3 of Pentacles. They can be very encouraging cards. So when the number 3 is reversed, it can mean disharmony. It can mean something coming between you two. Okay? So yeah, I also want to point that out, that you have this 2 of Wands, which is about partnerships. And you see he's looking out too, over the water and over the land. So this 2 and 3 of Wands, they form an interesting pair, because you know, they seem to be, they both have the same theme of waiting for good news, waiting for your hopes and dreams to come true. And so I feel like the sense of Gemini, you're getting your hopes up, you're waiting, and you know, this person, this love interest might be coming to you, and you might spend time together and seeing each other actively, but it just seems like nothing seems to go anywhere. There's always something that's getting in the way of you two really forming a real relationship that's committed. So we go from this 5 of Pentacles, which is, sometimes it can mean in a relationship reading abandonment, a fear of being abandoned, a fear of not being supported, being left alone. Okay, and then we come here to the Lover's card, and just be careful, because traditionally when I see the Lover's card, yes, it can mean a romantic excuse me, it can mean a romantic encounter. It can mean two people coming together in a spiritual sense. But the Lovers is not necessarily about marriage or commitment. It can also be about being under a spell of romance and not being able to see clearly. And it certainly doesn't mean that lovers, sometimes the Lovers card can mean that you're connected to each other, but there will be a lot of blocks and obstacles coming in the way. Usually when people say, is this person my soulmate? And I says, well, quite possibly, but understand that soulmates go through a lot of stuff that get in the way of them being together. And soulmates have to learn from each other. And the purpose of having a soulmate is that you grow together. So this refers to sexual and romantic love. And that energy of sexual and romantic love can be very deceiving. You know, it can feel good to be with someone and spend time with someone in a sexual or romantic way, but it's not necessarily about marriage. It doesn't necessarily mean like you and this person are destined to be together. Sometimes that Lovers card, you do feel an attraction to someone even though that person is not good for you. It can still be that you two are attracted and bonded together for good, but also for bad. You know, I think of that U2 song, With or Without You. I can't be with you, but I can't be without you either. And so in the context of these other cards, especially these two fives here, I feel like you Geminis are in that push-pull of a relationship here. And so we head into your future, and you have those two fours. Now the number 4, it's about stability or stagnation, being still. And you will find that this 4 of Swords reversed, this 4 of Swords, when it's not reversed, the 4 of Swords usually is about taking a retreat, taking a break. Especially in relationship readings, when I see that it can mean someone needs to take some time away from the relationship. And it can mean a make-up breakup, that you two don't see each other and you two need time to think things over or think about a decision. So this can be a very good card. But when it's reversed, it can mean rejection. It can mean someone's hiding from you. It means someone is distancing themselves from you. So this is followed by another 4, the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups, which, you know, cups mean connected to water and being associated with water, sometimes, you know, your emotions, your feelings, but it's, yeah, connected with love as well. But you see this young boy, and he's sort of ignoring the mermaid. The mermaid is offering a cup of love and affection. And this person is just turning away from that offer of love and affection. So sometimes when I see this, there could be a love interest who's sort of emotionally immature. They're very self-centered. If they don't get their way, they tend to hide. So these two 4s together, the stagnation, that's how I'm reading it. I see these two 4s as cards of stagnation. And then it's followed by another cup. So you have that Page of Cups, the beginning of love, 4 of Cups, someone emotionally pulling away. And then we have that King of Cups. And the King of Cups, it's not so much a romantic card. The King of Cups is always in charge of his emotions. And it doesn't necessarily mean that if someone has a King of Cups as their signifier, it doesn't necessarily mean they're overly romantic. To the contrary, the King is wise, very intuitive, very creative, but the King does not allow his emotions to get away from him. He can still be moody. He can still pull away emotionally. And he hides his emotions. People with cups as signifiers, whether it's Cancer or Pisces or Scorpio, they have this deep undercurrent of water that is very intuitive, and they're very protective over their emotions. They love hard, they play hard, and they tend to keep up a wall. The people that they love intensely, but also the people that they hate intensely. So I kind of feel like someone is starting to be emotionally unavailable here. They might pull away. Doesn't necessarily mean that you two won't be together, because this Lover's card is telling me that there's a lot of push-pull, that you two do have opportunities to be together, but it seems to be this unstable love, and this person keeps pulling away. And so you might get your hopes up, like, we'll finally be together, we're going on a cruise together, we're taking vacations together, we're going to see each other this weekend, and you'll both enjoy that time, and that energy of the Lover's card will come and sweep both of you off your feet. And then after the afterglow, then it feels like this person keeps pulling away again. So that's why I'm seeing all this conflict here with the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and that Three of Wands reversed. Now your outcome card is an Eight of Wands. And as these wands play out, getting your hopes up, waiting. The Eight of Wands is an interesting card as your outcome, because the Eight of Wands is about, sometimes they're called the arrows of love, actually. And sometimes this Eight of Wands is about traveling. So it's interesting that I just got through talking about trips and traveling. Maybe that is actually happening for some of you. I'm looking at that Eight of Wands, and I'm getting a surprise, a sudden message. I'm getting long distance communication, hearing from this King of Cups who pulled away, and all of a sudden the King of Cups is feeling his romantic energy and wants to be with you again, man or woman. A couple of you have been complaining that it seems like I read the tarot for women, which I'm guilty as charged. So I'm just trying to make sure that I read for men and women, by the way. So yes, this Eight of Wands, big surprises, a pleasant surprise is coming your way this July for some of you, a message, and then for some of you it can definitely mean travel. But if I can give just like a little tiny warning, try not to get swept off your feet, and try not to get so caught up in being with this person that you don't see the long game you don't see the bigger picture, that you don't want this person to get comfortable coming in and out of your life and calling the shots and disappearing. You don't want that at all. Okay? So that was your reading. And just a reminder, if you missed the intro to the video, this video reading, I give personal video readings, and usually they're $20, but for the summer they will be $15. So you might want to check it out. Go to tarotbyaire.com. You'll see a button to make an appointment. And I kind of changed my appointment book to where some of you have mentioned, why can't I email you my situation or tell you what's going on? When you make an appointment, you can now sort of do an intake survey, and you can let me know who do you want me to read for? Is this what are your birth dates? A little background information. What exactly is the question you want me to look into if you wish. You don't have to tell me, you don't even have to ask me a question. Usually I enjoy reading without knowing anything about the background information. But I do want to allow people to at least tell me a little bit about themselves, and if they feel this information is important for the reading, you can fill out a survey before you make your appointment, and I'll take that information before I do the reading. Also, please consider being a sponsor for $1 a month for my Patreon account. And I have a number of things planned for people who sponsor me. Tarot lessons, some of you have asked about that. Also super chats, heads up, if I'm live on Facebook or live on YouTube, you will be the first to know. And also just free readings. So I'm kind of expanding. I'm getting into really devoting more time to tarot in the future as a career. So your support would be wonderful. It would be appreciated. And as always, thank you for your concern about my illness. I'm feeling really good right now. Haven't been coughing as much. So my lungs are getting sort of healthy again. Okay, so I appreciate all your kind wishes and thoughts that you've sent my way these past few weeks. I wish you love and light, and I look forward to seeing you next month and having fun this summer with you. Take care.